Here are 10 things you most likely do wrong every day. Number 5. Stirring and pouring honey. How do you stir or store your honey? If you've been using a metal storage container or spoon for this job, then you've been doing it all wrong. There's a really good reason for this too. Honey is very acidic with a pH of around 4, meaning it can react with the honey and cause a change in acceptable quality of the honey. This can also cause a discoloration in the honey. That's why honey dippers have been used for generations. They don't chemically harm the honey, meaning they don't impair any of the honey's flavor. Honey dippers are also more porous, and their design is brilliant for preventing the honey dripping if you rotate it on the way to your cup. So, in the future, remember that wooden utensils or stainless steel spoons are preferable when transferring honey from containers. Number 4. Opening jars. Now to jars. We've all struggled to open them at least once. It can be seriously embarrassing, especially when that measly glass container starts to put your strength into question. But as you know, brain beats brawn. You've likely just been doing it wrong. You can easily open a stubborn jar using some household tools. First up, duct tape. All you have to do is attach the tape to the lid of the jar like this, making a little handle at the end. Just pull on it and voila! Next up, another great method, rubber bands. Simply wrap one around the lid and put on a rubber glove. This will give you some much needed grip. Now it will be much easier to open that lid. If the previous 2 tricks didn't work, then try this. Use a spatula or something similar to hit the jar, either on top or at the bottom. If that doesn't work, then grab a spoon and tap all around the top edge of the lid. That should loosen the seal, allowing the pressure to equalize slightly, making it easier to remove the lid. Finally, if all else fails, grab a hairdryer and heat up the lid with it. Or, you could turn the jar upside down so the lid heats up in hot water. Then, grab a cloth and twist the lid, and it should open. This heat should expand the lid, loosening it up. Number 3. Folding shirts. If you don't have your mom to do all your washing, ironing, and folding for you, then you probably just leave all your clothes bundled up on the ground in some huge pile. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is an amazingly simple way to fold all your clothes in under 2 seconds. All you have to do is follow these simple steps. First, lay your shirt down on the ground and imagine 3 points on the shirt. Position between the shirt's center line and outside edge. A, B, and C, where A is halfway down the shirt. Start by pinching point A with your left hand and grab B with your right hand. Cross your hand over to pick up point C, and then unfold your arms and fold the shirt back on itself. With just a bit of practice over time, you can perform this fold very quickly. It will save you a lot of time in the future. Number 2. Post-it notes. Turns out most of us peel Post-it notes incorrectly, from top to bottom. This bad habit leaves us with curly edges on our Post-it notes. That means they lose some of their stickiness. If you want your Post-it notes to stick, well then just start at one side and pull the note to the opposite side. Voila, a flat-lying note. Okay, this may be a classic first world problem, but it matters if you care about your sticky note actually being sticky. Number 1. Keyboard feet. Have you ever wondered what those little feet that extend out the back of your keyboard are for? Most of us, like myself included, assume they exist for ergonomics, just to make the keyboard more comfortable to type on. However, this isn't entirely true. It turns out that feet under keyboards have been mandatory since the beginning of the 80s, when the International Organization for Standardization stipulated that it should be possible to adjust the rear height of all keyboards. Back then, people were used to typing at height with machines such as typewriters, so the feet were meant to adjust the keyboard to a higher angle that people were more used to. However, nowadays they are only important for people who can't type blind. When the keys are extended, people who have to look at the keys, and typically use 2 fingers to type, have a better view of the keys, so it's advantageous for them to have the feet extended. However, a lot of people nowadays can type blind, and in this case, extending the feet on keyboards isn't much use. It can actually be harmful. If you're a blind typer and don't have to look at the keys when typing, then extending the feet can put your wrist at risk if they are angled back too far. For this reason, blind typers should keep the feet retracted and use a flat keyboard. Various studies have even demonstrated a beneficial effect on the wrists when angling the keyboard with a flat or negative incline. So if you're a proficient blind typer, then keep those keyboard feet retracted.